Today, it's ChillPoint with Paul and Heather. Enjoy. This is CheckPoint. Hey everybody! I realized I said come handout with Paul and Heather.
Come handout.
I'm sorry if you're here for a handout. We have nothing to give you. Except for our awesome news.
I like that you updated it on the Go Live notification even though it's way too late and no one will see that.
You're right.
But I appreciate that you went.
I felt like I needed to correct it, even if you never saw that it was corrected.
No, we're here to hand out the news, Paul.
Yeah, that's right.
We can do that.
That's right. We'll hand out. We'll deal out the news that you.
Along with some thoughts and opinions, I'm sure.
What? What am I seeing? Oh, that's the mic.
That one. Yeah.
Haha.
Figure out which side of the screen.
Zoom in the mic thing a little bit. All right. Let's quickly do these. Initial run of sub notifications here. We got Bald Rash for 44 months and boop.
Deadly Partition for 27 months. Beep.
Hey, Red Shoe Jeff for 9 months. A sub, baby. I'm too young and also male to be a single mom.
You can be a male.
It's
you can be a mom. You can be anything you want.
It's 2018, man. Yeah.
Death Day, 20 months in a row. ChillPoint, best point. It's a cold one.
Lawrence 72 for 16 months. A riddle. What is sweet, round, and deadly? Answer: a taekwondo nut. Interesting.
Exit pursued by a bear. 37 months in a row. Welcome back.
And Cyber Egg for 27 months in a row. Taekwondo, not actually that deadly as a martial art.
Well, I mean, it's only because it's half baked. The dough hasn't had time to rise yet.
So it's like taekwondo bread would be.
Fun day.
Drummy for 10 months in a row, chilling the points.
B Brit 1030 or 1030, whichever way you pronounce your numbers, for 20 months in a row. Good luck on the event setup. I refuse to say those words. I just keep calling it the event.
The event.
Which sounds way more interesting and
we
dark.
don't speak of the event.
The event happens soon. And it's not here right now.
I used to do Taekwondo. That's why. For those of you who don't... Taekwondo, at least certainly in its form now, is not even really intended as like a combat sport. It is like a sport. The way it's practiced now, anyway.
Like tiddlywinks.
It's not really, you know, like if you're stuck, if you're like in a dark alley and a bunch of people are coming to get you, Taekwondo is not really the thing you want to know. In the same way as you wouldn't want to know, like, in the same way as you wouldn't want to know whatever basketball wouldn't help you that much.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like it's not designed to be a self-defense thing, really. It's more of a it's more of like a sport.
We've done crap shots before about people getting
fencing,
like, robbed and like whatnot. But do you think that maybe if you had an extensive knowledge of something like football, that you could just befuddle the person trying to rob you and therefore escape?
You mean just by like listing facts about that topic?
Yeah, just overwhelm them with information.
I don't know. It depends on the kind of person. I guess if the person you're talking to is also like interested in facts. I feel like
if I was getting robbed in a dark alley, and they had, for some reason, this is a terrible idea to do this with something very identifying on you, but they for some reason were wearing like a face mask that had like an anime logo on it, and I went, oh man, that show's real good. I think it might just freak them out enough that
like, oh no, they recognize me.
They would not know what to do, or suddenly we would get into a fight about why that show's bad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's like a Key and Peele sketch where two guys, like there's like one guy holding another guy up in a dark alley, and they realize that they're both really into Twilight, over the course of the, and they actually become like super best friends. 40 Swiss cheese for 3 months in a row. Thanks for all the years of laughs and smiles.
Tense Tech Priest for 12 months in a row. The event.
And Tokashino Ruta for 58 months in a row. Usually I write a big message of thanks, but today I'll just chill. Sounds good.
It's a good day to chill.
All right. So today this is ChillPoint, which for those of you who don't know, this is CheckPoint except without the CheckPoint part.
Yep.
This is normally when we do episode of CheckPoint, it'll be myself and Graham and Kathleen, and Kathleen and Graham will be doing the actual
They sit
recording
behind a
of
desk.
CheckPoint.
They act like they news
Yeah,
things.
we'll come in earlier. We come in earlier in the day, go through all the stories. We write 4 or 5 stories for them to do, and they do them, and we record it, and then Heather edits out when we fuck it up, which is fairly often.
Sometimes you're really good.
Puts together the ones that work, and then we put that up on YouTube. But then afterwards, we like to talk about the stuff we didn't actually do as stories, just for more chatting and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So in this case, it's like no stories were done, so we do all the stories.
Yeah. So all the stories are the extra stories.
Yeah.
Zath for 25 months in a row says time for some good checklist point. Yep.
Fun fact. You can tell how many times they messed up their stories by how late it takes me to get the episode up on the YouTubes.
That's true.
Usually. Sometimes it's YouTube's fault.
That's true.
Fun fact.
The never retiring player bug. I haven't heard of that. Is that players will just continue playing for their team way longer than they should? I can imagine that happening on a...
Fun fact, Charkis is just subscribed. Welcome.
And Blast Proof for 7 months in a row. Loving the chat.
It's a good chat.
It's a good chat.
We have a very, very good chat.
All right.
And they're going to stay that way because otherwise that would be a lie.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't want me to lie. Would you?
So let's talk about some of the stuff that happened in this last week. This is by no means a authoritative, definitive list of video game news that happened in the last week.
It's probably not even comprehensive.
No, but
maybe,
it's stuff.
Maybe check some blogs.
It's stuff that I thought was funny, because of course there's lots of video game news or news in general, of course, that happens that isn't funny, but we don't want to talk about that, and that's not really what CheckPoint is about. It's about making fun of dumb video game news, like Mew and Me, which is a iPad app designed to you put it on you load it onto your iPad, and then launch the app, put your iPad on the ground, and leave, like go away for the day, and your cat plays it.
Okay.
It's an iPad app for like your cat to play with. So like little stuff goes on the screen, like little like insects and stuff fly across and stuff. But the really which like I've seen like YouTube videos of like cats like batting at an iPad screen, right?
Yeah.
What makes this specially designed for it is that, well, one, it's like particularly attractive stuff for a cat to play with, but also when you come back like at night, you can do it and it gives you like stats on like because it can tell when the cat was playing with it. So it's like what the cat was playing with.
Okay.
How often, when it was playing with it.
You can leave it and then come back and find out if your cat has not touched it and if what you're doing is just a waste.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess the large scratch marks in the screen of your iPad might be a good indication of whether the cat liked it or not too.
That depends on the cat.
Yeah.
I mean, my cat growing up never pulled out her claws.
No.
To when she was playing.
That's nice.
She just
that's
didn't.
Considerate.
I know there are other cats that do though, so yeah, I guess that varies on cat. I was gonna say there better be a cat thing if they're gonna call it Mew and Me, because otherwise they're just using a Pokemon name for some reason and it's weird.
What apparently what I learned from the comments on this article is that apparently there's actually quite a cottage industry of YouTube channels for cats. So it'll be like it'll be like 10 hours of like birds on like a windowsill, or little like things for cats to watch.
You mean
while you're gone.
Things for cats to watch? Not there's a whole cottage industry of cat videos on the internet.
Well, I mean, yeah, we
watch
know
cats. I'm like, I figured you already knew that.
Yeah,
Paul.
yeah.
But okay,
no, this is content created by people for cats to watch while you're gone.
Yeah. Okay.
So the idea is you put it on, especially if you're like in an apartment or you're somewhere where the cat can't look out the window for whatever reason.
Yeah. No, I can see.
It's something for a cat to do. Although some people have pointed out that, like, it might be less of a problem with cats. I guess everyone's cat is different, I guess, but it's like dogs. It's the keeping them excited and interested is more important. Whereas cats are kind of inclined to just sleep if they can.
Well, and but the younger the cat, the more activity they tend to
That's true.
kind of be into. Like an older cat definitely tends to not care so much, I think.
Mm.
But also you just get some cats who just don't care.
Yeah. So anyway, if you have a cat that you want to keep interested, what's great also, it's kind of a self-perpetuating thing because you get the cat watching the thing on the TV or playing the iPad app, then you film the cat, then you put that up on YouTube, and then you can have other cats watching the cat with the cat. Like it not only is content for cats, but if you film it, you are generating cute cat content. Because the cat will be cute while it's doing its thing.
We watch other people play video games and do other things. Heck, we just watch sometimes videos where nothing happens. So why not have cats watching other cats?
And then you film the cat watching the cat watching the cat watching the cat.
Well, because cat reaction videos, right? That's essentially what we're doing here.
And then you can pretty much go as deep as you want.
In that cat well, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what a cat would...
9 lives deep.
Because I've seen cats react to other cats or other animals on screen. I'm curious as to if a cat would perceive things as it goes like deeper into the would a cat recognize and be interested in a cat watching a cat? Anyway,
hard to say.
Clearly, this is an area that needs in-depth analysis, although I feel like that maybe has already been done.
Well, it's already happening.
Yeah. Let's
clear out some of these subs.
Catch up on these subs here. Krumyami. For 21 months at work in a meeting, have a sub anyway. Well, thank you very much.
Peter Chordash with that new sub. Welcome to the channel.
Foxmar 320 for 58 months in a row, thanks to Manfred 909.
Soren Planeswalker for 3 months in a row. Paul, that would break the internet.
No.
Nah.
The internet is
it's already broken.
Yeah, the internet is, I feel, heavily inoculated against overuse of cat videos. Like, if cat videos had the capacity to take down the internet, it would be gone already.
Yeah, no, it would have gone ages ago.
MJI maybe? MJIHDE for 25 months in a row. I'm just going to spell it out.
That seems fair. Arconic Energy for 25 months in a row. Add 1 to Storm. Will do.
Goleko for 2 months in a row. I can afford to do this myself for once. Yay, September. Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
yay, September indeed.
If you did the September extend your gift sub thing last month when it was going on, a lot of them are starting to come through now.
Right. So this is the
because they don't charge you until
Right.
when
right.
it actually goes.
So this is not Subtober, but this is like
This is a sub from Subtober.
This is September. What we're seeing now is the fruition of what started in September. It's very exciting. All right, this is a story that actually that Heather put me onto. Do you have a Switch?
Do you want a different Switch?
Do you want a different? Do you GameStop has this great program where you can trade in old consoles to get a newer console. Like for instance, you can trade in like your 3DS.
I don't know if I would say it's a great program.
To get credit towards a Switch, or you could trade in your Switch to get credit towards a Switch.
Yep.
And you know how much?
Do you have a Switch? Do
you
want a different Switch? Do you want to trade in your old Switch for a new Switch for $200 in credit?
Yeah. So a Switch costs about $350, $360. If you trade in your old Switch, they will give you $200 credit towards a new Switch. Apparently, this the article on this is great. Like, the guy, the Polygon or Kotaku or whatever, they're like, I assumed that this was like a typo, and I phoned them up, and they're like, no, this is a real thing. People like the special edition Switches. Yeah,
so there are limited edition Switches coming out, and so this is meant to basically be like, oh, I bought a Switch day one, and oh, hey, but I would really like that Smash Switch that's coming out, or the Pokemon one that's coming out, or whatever, because they're finally doing those. I guess, but what do I do with those old Switch? And what I say is, for $200, you go sell your old Switch to someone else instead, and probably get like $250 at least for it, and then go buy that other Switch.
Yeah,
but you can do a trade if you want.
Like EB or EB/GameStop is not going to give you the best deal for your used gaming stuff, regardless of what it is. Like if it's video games or consoles or whatever. Like they're by design almost the worst deal you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Because obviously they make all their money off the secondary market.
Yeah, but it would be weird for them not to, if they know that is going to be someone might do that, then putting that offer out there so that they will do it for them is still smart, even though it's really silly.
Yeah.
And it makes a great silly headline.
It makes a good headline. It's like you could look at it, I guess you could look at it as $160 to get a new Switch of any kind you want.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you can't find someone to sell it to near you. Maybe like having to ship it out would suck. Maybe you just want the convenience and you don't want to deal with people. I've
That's
done
true.
Game trades for that reason.
I mean, when we did Unskippable, we used to every couple months go into EB and make their like week, make them hit like all of their goals for the week, because we'd like trade in like 50 games, and the person would be like, yes.
I wonder if their goals are based
and
upon.
Then we traded like 50 games, then get like 2.
Because one of the places I worked at, all of our sales goals were based upon what we had achieved the year before in sales. So I wonder if for a place like that does that, if their goals are set by what they hit the year before. So if you guys when you stopped doing Unskippable, stopped going in so often, I wonder if that just cratered their goals. like you would have made their week.
Please.
1 week, but then like the next year it would have just been like,
it's like, what the hell? Last year you did $500 worth of trade-ins this week. What the hell happened? You got to get out there and hustle.
Those are the worst conversations.
It turns out Unskippable was single-handedly supporting the video game industry in Victoria. So anyway, there's also a thing apparently, because of course some special edition things have like stuff with them, not only like a fancy color or whatever, but like for instance, apparently people are perfectly willing to pay $160 for, say, special edition Fortnite skins that come with the Fortnite Switch.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's right. There's a
which
Fortnite
I don't
Switch.
understand. But then again, I don't understand a lot of things about this
I've seen
kind of stuff.
Fortnite. It's not a thing I want to play. So getting a special edition of a thing for it would not be a thing I would do.
Mm.
But there's probably some people who would really love it. So neat. Good for them.
Yeah.
Just give me some cool decals to put on my Switch so I don't have to buy another Switch.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think they call them stickers. I could probably find those on the internet.
Yeah, you should get lots of cool like bumper stickers for your Switch.
Yeah.
Because the actual like the thing that you plug into your TV is just like a plastic cradle. Like there's all sorts of empty space on there.
I get a big bumper sticker for my Switch. This is my other Switch is a PS4.
I like that. All right, what else we got going on here? There's I mean, it I guess kind of a bummer story, but there was a big, somewhat controversy in the Counter-Strike GO or Counter-Strike Global Offensive community, one of the big gameplay or one of the big esports games, where a guy was caught cheating using an aim assist thing in a really very poor. He did not do a good job of cheating in the sense of they found it by like he was trying to hide it on his screen.
Okay,
because it's like an app that was open.
This is like those things you see when they do TV shows about kids trying to cheat in school and they're real bad at it.
So it went through a few things, and the guy ended up getting a 5-year ban or something, which is interesting. And people were like, "Oh, he should have gotten a lifetime ban." I would put forward that in the world of video games, like I feel like a 5-year ban from a competitive esports video game, like who knows whether Counter-Strike Global Offensive is even going to be played in 5 years on a competitive level. Like that could very well be
is it just
a lifetime ban.
Thing too that they've been banned for, or is it like all esports?
Well, no, because the organization
from all esports?
There's no overarching organization that's going to. I mean, if you tried to join up with another team, they would probably
like if I tried
you got banned from this one.
Yeah, I feel like if I got banned from Counter-Strike and I tried to join up for something like an Overwatch team, they would just be like, "We've seen your name in gaming article." No.
So there isn't like an overarching authority, but obviously it's not good. And like the team that he was part of has basically like disbanded because that was they have to now find other
you would have to. Great, yeah.
Because from what I understand anyway, Counter-Strike, each person in different parts and stuff. So it's at the point where the guy is now like, my regret is that I kind of wish that I had never like discovered Counter-Strike as a game, because he has admitted that he was cheating. It's a little bit like if you've seen Cool Runnings. Movie. It's his reasons for cheating was kind of like what John Candy says in that one, where he's just like, I had winning became the most important thing, and that I knew that I was really good at all these different stuff, but my aim was a little weak, and so I had to do that, and it became an obsession.
It's not the game's fault, but he ended up kind of becoming obsessed because of the game he found. Like, this could have happened with any other kind of game for him.
Yeah, I mean,
but now this game has a bad flavor in his mouth because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, to be honest, to be at a pro level in any game or anything really, you have to be obsessive to a certain extent. To be a high level athlete.
Well, you have to be playing consistently.
Yeah,
and
it has to be.
You also have to still be improving, which is the hard point, because sometimes there's stuff that you can't seem to surpass stuff on.
So anyway, it's
That's, you know what though? There are a million other games he can play.
it's true.
Just probably not esports.
The other thing that I guess I knew, but I was reminded, is that doping is also a thing, like in esports. This guy wasn't accused of that, but the organization that was dealing with it also covers doping.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. No.
Although it's more like focusing, like
Yeah, it wouldn't be
like
for like.
not Adderall, but there's stuff that you use to enhance whatever
Ritalin.
focus. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that we're at that point. So, yay for esports becoming more like real
I mean, that's
more
it.
like real sports, I guess.
That's kind of their aim, isn't it? To be taken as seriously as a real sport.
Yeah. All right, let's see. TC Burner for 16 months in a row. Thank you very much.
GSC Europe, thank you for that 100-bit cheer. Why are there no bits on that counter? Well, there are now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And the Maricat with the 150 bits saying, the real chop is they won't sell you the special version Switch till you pre-order it.
Yeah.
I mean, the real trap is pre-order. That's basically.
Yeah. Vistod, 25 months in a row, welcome back. Pre-orders are kind of, a bit of a scam in some ways, and yet at the same time, I can't not for certain games.
All right. Good news.
Oh.
We did this story. We did a story about a year ago now, actually, a little more than a year ago. We mentioned. I don't know if we did like a big story about it, but we mentioned it. Alan Wake, great game.
Oh, is that the name of the game?
Yeah.
I always just thought that was the name of the character, and he was part of like a different game.
No. It's both.
Okay.
Alan Wake is the guy in the game, the man, the mystery, the mystery writer, is what he is. Anyway, Alan Wake was taken out of. It was.
Did they take him out of his own game?
The game was removed from all storefronts about a year and a half ago, because the licenses for the in-game music ran out.
Right. Okay.
And so this was like a really it's happened before in other games, but this was actually quite a prominent thing because it was still like quite a popular game, and there was like a sequel to it and various other things, and they had to remove it from the store because while I guess it was people were still buying it, it wasn't popular enough that they wanted to redo all the license, though they redo all the music or redo the licenses and stuff, which really sucked. But the good news is it's back because Microsoft apparently has renegotiated licenses for the game's music. So it will be once again available on all digital platforms, including the 360, like the 360 store or whatever, and Steam and various other places. So,
sorry, it's all digital platforms and the Xbox 360 too.
Yeah, well, there's like the arcade for the 360, Xbox Arcade.
Yeah, I just don't know why you need to mention a specific. Because it's in the article.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like, all digital platforms. All right, so that one too, because it's got one. Yes, that makes sense.
I mean, I guess what they're saying is that it's available for all those digital platforms that you probably are, currently using, like Steam and stuff. Mm-hmm. Also, if you go and dust off and boot up your 360, it'll be available there.
Yeah, it just reminds me of that meme. All my friends are here, and Applejack too.
It's like, what? He's not your friend?
That's what I mean.
Who still has a 360? I do.
There are people who must.
I actually use my 360 and I have a 360 and a PS3 at home that I use fairly often for Netflix and stuff, not for actually playing games. But
lots of people keep older systems around for several reasons, such as multimedia. Things just work better for them in that way, or they haven't moved on to a newer console due to budget.
And also in compatibility. I mean, they do have a bunch of 360 games work on Xbox One, but not all of them. So, all right, what else we got going on here? This is not a super exciting piece of news, but with Graham not here, I figured I should mention that Medieval for PS4 is going to be a full remake. So Graham is like a huge fan of the Medieval series. To be fair, I am also a fan of the series, but this was like one of Graham's favorite games on his PlayStation.
Sure if this was Graham's a really big fan, so we have to mention this because otherwise he'll be mad that we didn't mention it. Or Graham hates this series and I have to mention it because he's not here.
No. This is not a making fun of Graham thing. It's actually an awesome game. It's an awesome game that was one of Graham's favorite games on the PlayStation. And so he was super stoked that they're doing a remake, or that they're doing a re-release of it. It was initially reported as a remaster. It is actually a remake, which is a distinction that it's weirdly getting more and more. I feel like as we're moving forward in generations and we keep going back to the older stuff, is a distinction that's actually becoming more and more important.
Yeah.
That
also sometimes they're just wrong.
Yeah. That the remaster versus remake versus update, reissue,
HD, because sometimes they're just HD. They're not necessarily remastered. Versus
there's a lot of ways that you can release an old game in a new format. As far as I can tell, so they've said that this is I like this. We've taken the original game design, we've taken a lot of the key art and some of the other attributes of the game and ethos, if you will, and we're working with a developer called Other Ocean Interactive, and they're remaking Medieval in that design, the original Medieval from PS1, the one that I worked on. This is Layden, who's the chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide. So we're working with some of the talent that were originally associated with the title 20 years ago now, and we're making sure we're keeping it real, or keeping it to the original intent of the creators.
I smell a New Day Tuesday with a Graham Stark and possibly a Paul.
So that should be super fun. This is sort of like I know Graham did the New Day Tuesday on the Crash remake that came out, like the Crash Bandicoot one. This is sort of the same era. So
yeah, I do prefer a remake, especially when you're going from something as old as like the original PlayStation to the PlayStation 4, because remakes generally have more thought into what system they're currently putting it on, whereas a remaster is sometimes like, well, we kept all the controls the same, and that's not necessarily a great idea.
At least in my perception, in my mind, the distinction is a remake is redoing the entire game in a new engine, with new graphics and everything, but making it as close to the original as possible. Whereas a remaster is possibly redrawing, but using the same actual like engine and game, but making the assets in the game more high resolution, I guess you would say.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I've always kind
of... that's my interpretation of the distinction between the two, I guess. In which I think remaster versus... I think that makes it... I think that is a useful analog in comparison to like movies, where like a remaster of a movie will be going back to the original footage on the 35mm and doing a pass on it and updating it and stuff. And then there's reboots are different than remakes. A reboot will be actually making like a different game with the same stuff.
Yeah,
which also happens.
Yeah.
And it's usually called the same thing, which is why it's terrible.
And it's confusing because then.
Or the worst part is when it's called like, if the game always had like a subtitle, like if it's like this game blah, or then the second one is like this game blah, and then they go back and they do like they wait a while and they do a new one that just has the name of the game and doesn't have the subtitle at all.
God of
So
War.
it looks like it's even like it looks like it's before the first one.
Yeah. Tomb Raider. Yeah, there's like lots of series that get rebooted because I mean sometimes you just don't have anywhere else to go, which is fine. There's nothing actually wrong with that.
No, I mean
It's just confusing when they use the exact same game title and you talking about a different one than people are actually talking about.
yes, it makes video game discussion to be difficult.
And we all know how easy video game discussion is without added difficulties. Especially on the internet.
I feel, yeah, like saying Prey wasn't a reboot, it was a totally different game. I mean, technically speaking, by a lot of definitions, I think Prey would actually be considered a reboot, but it was like a total, like, I think the developers actually were like, so we made this game, and we had this name Prey lying around, which seemed cool, so we just named it Prey. Like, it was never intended to be anything. It wasn't like they started trying to make Prey again, and then it changed into the game that they did. They just made a totally different game, and then we're like, Prey kind of works, and it's a cool name. Let's use that name.
What else have we got for news?
So, Red Dead Redemption 2 is out. And I believe it's going to be, Adam's going to be playing on New Day tomorrow.
Yep.
One of the cool things about it is it has a companion app for your mobile device, either your Android or iOS device, that can not only do stuff in terms of like whatever social media stuff, but it can also do it has not only like the map of the game, but like the real time. Actually, like,
Yeah.
Apparently, it's actually like synchronized to the extent like it's almost like a second screen to the game, as in like you can see like where you are on the map, all this stuff, which is what you can do when these games are sort of always online now.
Yeah, my understanding is you can essentially take most, if not all, of like the HUD and have all that information on it.
Yeah. And I mean, Heather and I were actually talking about this a little bit before the show. To me, I feel like there's a whole I guess movement or school of thought about the idea of sort of removing the HUD to make it a kind of a more immersive gameplay experience, that you're not like constant.
Some people really don't like HUD.
Yeah, and that you're not like constantly bringing up the map and stuff. Like you're more kind of experiencing it without so much sort of game stuff in between you and thing. I'm kind of medium on that, but so the idea is that you could have the HUD completely turned off in the game and have all your your equipment and your life, your health and your ammo and all that stuff on your iPad. Which to me, if you're going for like the immersive experience reason for not having the HUD, I feel like having to constantly look down at an iPad that you have like balanced on your lap maybe defeats the purpose of that to some extent.
Yeah. Although if I was really into that, I would probably get like a stand to put it on.
Have it like as a separate. Yeah. Like it sounds a little bit like some of the stuff they were doing with the Wii U with second screen experience stuff there, but in that case it's stuck between your hands. So it's like always there.
Yeah, it makes, well, because it's also something that's already attached to the console, so if you design it well, you can do stuff that makes sense with that, whereas you have to have another mobile device, which a lot of people do, so it's not like that's a big ask for some. But I feel like people who don't want the HUD on their screen don't necessarily want it on the other device in front of them either. Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know if that aspect...
It could make for a really cool way to play the game with, say, a person who's watching who doesn't necessarily want to...
That's true.
Play the game themselves, but is hanging out with you and wants to, like, do the mapping and stuff for you.
That
I could see.
The sort of co-pilot.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of really neat stuff. As a side note, I was just thinking that we have the capability of we could set up a thing with like Red Dead and then like insert of an iPad or something for a stream. Anyway, but the thing that that the Wii U really did a few times in a really interesting way was that sort of co-pilot position. Like I remember in like Super Mario Brothers, you could like create blocks to help the other person, or
they had
or hinder it, or hinder the other person, which was used
games
more
with
often.
it that they tried to do. Nintendo Land had probably some of the better ones to show that, where like they had a Luigi's Mansion game in there that one player plays as the ghost and they can see the map.
It was almost like a Pac-Man thing.
Yeah, and then everybody else has whatever going on. I've seen people mentioning Zombie U in the chat, which featured, like, if you wanted to look at your inventory, the game doesn't pause, but, like...
You could look down at it.
You have to look down in your thing, and that makes it hard to see in the game. I know Tokyo Mirage Sessions kind of used that space for, like, cell phone messages and some other things. Like, there was some neat stuff that they did do with it. It didn't get a huge amount of play with some stuff that it could have, but...
Or I remember, I mean, the cool thing with the Wii U, it was almost never used, but some of the AR stuff, I remember, was it the Raccoon game?
Raccoon game?
Sly Cooper. Had a thing where you could pull up you could actually bring up the Wii U, and it did like an augmented reality thing of like your screen, and you could see like where secrets were.
Fatal Frame did that with, is my understanding. The Wii U was your camera, and you needed to hold it up in front of the TV screen in order to see the ghosts and stuff to flash the camera at them. I believe was also a thing. Like, there was some really neat stuff done with it. It's just it wasn't not everyone.
That wasn't Sly Cooper? Oh yeah, because it's a PlayStation game. I don't know what it was.
Star Fox?
No, it wasn't.
I don't think.
Anyway, maybe I don't know, or maybe that was just like a demo thing. I thought I saw a thing that did that. Anyway, cool idea. I'm all for these sort of second screen experiences in games. Obviously, you don't want it to be set up so that you have to have the device in order to make it work. But if they can do it, and especially, like, this sounds really neat in that taking advantage of the sort of always online aspect of it, which I'm sure people are kind of grumbly about, but whatever. This is the world we live in.
I mean, I mentioned you would have to have it online
so that it can keep real-time updates on things.
Unless it connects through Bluetooth or something, which seems unlikely.
No. One of the and the other aspect of this is because I guess especially because when it came out on Android, the second screen app came out on Android, and you can hack stuff on Android, and people messed with the got into the package and found some interesting stuff in terms of capability or references to Oculus stuff.
Oh, okay.
And references to PC, because right now Red Dead is
it's not all
PS4 exclusive.
Have they?
I think.
They haven't.
And they haven't said that it's coming out on PC. It's pretty much going to come out on PC. Like, we kind of knew that it was probably going to come out on PC anyway.
A lot of stuff, especially a lot of stuff that says that it's exclusive to their platform.
Xbox One as well.
Has a tendency that especially if they use the term like launch exclusive,
right,
means that title's going to be exclusive for like at least 6 months or a year before they bring it out into other platforms, and that's just so that they can get more sales on the hopes that people will want to play it right away.
Oh, was it? Oh, I was thinking of the Sly Cooper thing was Sly Cooper, but it was PlayStation plus the Vita? Interesting. Wow. Huh.
Okay, anyway. I could see that working. I could see them doing something like that.
Anyway.
I could definitely see that ability not getting a ton of play, because that requires 2 extremely expensive devices.
I mean, as an example, they also Rockstar also said that like GTA 5 was a console exclusive when it came out, and it has since come out on PC. So there's a pretty good chance it'll happen. Steel City Exile for 11 months in a row. Thank you very much, sir.
And the Ocean Who Subbed has subbed once more for 52 months in a row. Welcome back.
And featuring me for 29 months. 29? That's almost half of 59. Smiley face. It's true. These are things that are true.
Fun fact.
Yes. A very unusual or the seldom actually good copyright news, which is that a exception. So the DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in the States, one of the things that it prevents is circumvention of anti-copyright, like anti-copying measures, even if the reason why you're if the reason why you want to copy the thing is legal. Like if you're using it for something that is totally legal, the act of circumventing the copyright itself is illegal, regardless of why you're actually using the copyrighted material, which is dumb.
That's some circular logic right there.
So anyway, they have they've started to open up some exceptions in this. This started a few years ago, and they just recently opened up an exception for video games. So old video games that especially list of exceptions now includes new guidance regarding video game hardware, which is bundled with provisions covering farming equipment and automobiles. So yay.
Okay.
Customers will have the legal right to break DRM restrictions to repair and maintain their game consoles. So this doesn't. This obviously voids your warranty and all that kind of stuff. But
I mean, if it's an old game console, you don't have a warranty on it anymore.
Right.
You just don't.
Also, the big reason for this they talk about is that there's a lot of online games where the servers that make the online game, that connect the online game, are gone for whatever reason. Either the company is gone or they just decided it wasn't worthwhile. Whatever.
New versions come out.
And the idea, and that makes the game unplayable. And any content that was created for that game. In some cases, these are like MMOs and things that had a bunch of user-created content. That content now becomes inaccessible and lost to the ages. And for people who are big into archiving stuff, that's obviously not a good...
Yeah, video game archival is messy.
And so this is helping that... The theory here is that if a game is abandoned in that way, this now allows people to crack the game and remove the requirement to connect to a server, or make it so that they can make a dummy server or a third party server so that they can play the game again. Which is pretty cool.
Wow.
So it's one of these things that theoretically could be done before. It just operated in a very legally gray area, which is actually more of a legally black area in the sense of it was technically illegal, but nobody cared because usually the companies that owned the thing was dead.
Yeah, they weren't knocking down your door for it.
But the idea that it actually has been codified as a productive thing, I think is pretty neat. That people have actually agreed. Not only that sort of the government and the court system has agreed that video games are a thing that requires that can benefit from this ability to preserve them.
I'm not surprised that it's from the agribusiness and automotive industry, because there's a lot of like farm equipment and stuff that has software in it.
Yeah.
That if you can't use after a while, the whole piece of equipment, it's just not usable.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like weird. That is the weird thing to me. A video game system, I'm like, sure, that's a piece of entertainment, but a piece of farm equipment is just like the weirdest idea to me, that it could just not work anymore, even though there's no reason.
Apparently, I was actually reading an article about that thing, that like there's this weird market for where like farmers are using are getting into business with like Korean firmware hackers to like supercharge their tractors.
Yeah.
And like open up the firmware of their tractor, which never used to be a thing.
Yep. It's weird, but it's true.
Yeah, it is kind of a cyberpunky thing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I saw somebody use the term, there it is, programmed obsolescence.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not new. It's new in different areas, but like the idea of manufacturing stuff so that it does just wear out has been going on since we hit the Industrial Revolution.
That's true, I guess. It's just the weird situation you have now is that it's with software. It's not in any way related to the actual thing that's being made.
Yeah.
It's completely arbitrary, which is very annoying. GZ56 for 19 months in a row. Thank you very much. Halloween.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Like in 2 days.
For many of us, it's already here. Because when you have Halloween on a Wednesday, it actually kind of starts on the Friday beforehand and just kind of goes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely been some shenanigans going around town from what I understand.
But as you are probably not, as is probably not surprising, one of the big ticket Halloween costumes, or some of the big ticket Halloween costumes this year for kids, are Fortnite Halloween costumes. Which, when I read this article, I was like, oh, that makes sense, because it's a big popular game. But then I was like starting to think about it, and I was like, wait, what do people in Fortnite look like? Because part of the thing with Fortnite is that there's so many skins and character customizations and stuff. Like, if I saw like a Fortnite character apart from the game of Fortnite, there's nothing that would really make it look like a Fortnite character unless he was carrying like a plunger with a stick through it or something.
I'd expect maybe that weird pinata.
Like the pinata. Like I can imagine that because that's like the logo for the game.
Yeah, like I've seen there's certainly things within Fortnite that I've seen enough of in other places that I would recognize. But costume-wise, you're right. I probably wouldn't recognize any.
But like to me, a Fortnite costume would be go into our costume room and just put in random stuff and then go out and be like, "Hey, I'm Fortnite." And have like a gun.
Hello, I am dressed up as Mr. Fortnite. I am here for my candy.
Possibly that is because I don't really play Fortnite, but just I find the idea, like, while Fortnite has a very strong overall visual identity, I feel like the individual characters in Fortnite not really so much. Like I've never seen things that look the same. Which is sort of part of the appeal, is that you can create whatever you want. But anyway, I just found that kind of funny that despite that, Fortnite
has
Fortnite costumes based costumes. So costumes based on skins for Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like this article mentioned the Spirit Halloween store or whatever, which is where I went during our last live to get some stuff. And there were, not only were there Fortnite costumes, there was like Overwatch and at least 3 different Kingdom Hearts key blades that I saw, and a whole bunch of stuff that I actually, walking in, I was just like, did I accidentally walk into some sort of anime cosplay store? Because those don't really exist here, and this is very weird. I mean, I've never really gone costume shopping in a long time. Has this existed for years, and I was just unaware that I should be checking out Halloween stores around Halloween for conventions?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big...
When did that happen?
It's all mainstream now, you know?
Sure, and I'm all for that. I just didn't realize that was a thing. I'm used to going into those stores and finding, like, really cheap outfits for, like, Supergirl knockoffs or, like, some sort of sexy eggs and bacon outfit thing. And I'm just like, what? What is this? Nobody told me I could get a plastic Zelda sword.
The old Halloween standby, sexy eggs and bacon. Sexy breakfast. It's especially, I guess it's just, I found it funny because all the Fortnite characters are so customizable. Like, it would be like costumes of, like, alternate skins for Overwatch characters or something. Like, the Overwatch characters are, you know, have very distinctive looks, but if there were a bunch of costumes for the, like, alt skins for them, that would be odd too. But I don't know, maybe there are.
I mean, so I would assume the outfits.
It's like PUBG costumes, which is literally just clothes.
I assume the outfits that they have are ones that tend to be quite popular. That people pick quite a lot of. But like,
there's like a unicorn Snuggie.
If I was into something like, I'm gonna go with Overwatch because I know way more about Overwatch designs, and it's like, oh, D.Va, is she cool? I could get the normal D.Va outfit, or they just had like this Halloween event thing, and I saw the skins for that, and this year at Halloween they have the D.Va Halloween skin outfit. I would totally go do that. So yeah, special skins. That's essentially just like limited time edition Halloween skin stuff. Yeah, absolutely, people would go for that.
I wonder if they actually like coordinate with, because they're always like, or they're almost always like semi-unofficial, the costumes, right? It'll be like, get your Overlook costume, where you can get D.Va.
Everything I saw looked like
actually like licensed stuff?
Did not have it look like licensed stuff.
Yeah, I think the PUBG costume is just go around in your underwear.
Like 3 different keyblades, Paul. And one of them was the Jack Skellington one.
Is that one that's in the game?
I have no idea because I've not played these games, but my understanding is there's many Keyblades in that game. Series, franchise, maybe. I don't know.
Also, just in this article about gaming Halloween costumes, apparently there's a large selection of Five Nights at Freddy's Halloween costumes, which... Isn't a Five Nights at Freddy's Halloween costume just like dressing up as a bear, like as like a teddy bear?
Well, it's
just like horrible.
Because aren't they based upon
like Chuck E. Cheese mascots or whatever?
Kinds of things. So they're horrifying.
A teddy bear with sharp
teeth. more than horrible.
Yeah,
I would say horrifying.
Like, I feel like that would be a very horrifying costume. I wouldn't immediately be like Five Nights at Freddy's. I'd be just like, terrifying teddy bear. Like, there's lots of horrifying teddy bears in mythology. It's not like a Five Nights at Freddy's specific thing.
But if that's the thing you're into, then that's just really cool for you and other people who recognize it. It's essentially like going to an anime convention and wearing the thing that an obscure thing wears in an anime, and everyone else who sees it is just like, oh, that's some weird anime bullshit. But you meet that one other person who knows what it is, and you guys can be friends, or you can be enemies.
Oh. It's
But-
not
but
necessarily
now you know.
you're not necessarily going to be friends. Sometimes you're enemies.
Well, sometimes you think that the person who likes that thing likes it for different reasons, and they're the wrong reasons. So now you gotta be enemies. It's a risk you gotta take.
Or they know enough about the anime to know that you did it wrong, that your outfit is wrong.
Oh, that's always rough. That's always a rough one. Ugh.
All right, generic evil genius for 53 months in a row says Mirnus Hart.
Aw. The Merricat has cheered with 150 bits. Back in July, Epic Games announced a partnership with Spirit Halloween and Spencer's on a range of officially licensed costumes and accessories from Fortnite. So, yeah, actual Fortnite
Nice.
licensed. Thank you.
And Mirnus for 58 months in a row says generic evil genius Hart.
Oh, you two are cute.
Yeah.
Look at those two cuties. Using their subs to heart each other. Kiwi Jelly for 17 months in a row. I'm going with my standard costume of a person who doesn't get out much. I'm wearing it now. Aw. Yeah, it's one of my favorite outfits, too.
Okay, this is awesome.
Okay.
So, Soul Calibur 6, it's the new Soul Calibur, it came out. One of the big things about it is that it's got very extensive character customization in it. To the point where there's been like lots of videos people made of like, look, you can, it's like, here's this person in Soul Calibur by just like making the different,
Oh,
like
okay. So
making
kind
your
of like
character.
a Sims almost.
Yeah, well, you
thing.
can make characters look, you know, can change all sorts of things. One of the things you can do is you can add like item accessories.
Okay, yes, I do enjoy doing that, yes.
And people have figured out by using possibly hack methods that you can change the size of accessories
Do tell.
to the point where, like for instance, here's a picture of.
I think we need to put that on the overlay
Here,
if we can.
let me. I can probably pull this up.
Because that's really funny.
So what you can do is make your make the accessory so large that it covers your entire character. It doesn't do anything in terms of like it's not a physical item that will block anything, but it makes it so that the other guy can't see your moves.
I mean, that's mean, but I love the idea of this. Just for aesthetic reasons.
Yeah. So like somewhere in here is the opponent. The opponent occupies some space within this enormous apple. But what is the opponent doing? Who knows? So apparently this has been somewhat of an issue.
Yeah.
Because they allow customized characters in like online play. Obviously, I'm assuming in tournaments it wouldn't fly, but the fact that they're allowed, it's not just something that you can like do with your friends, but you can actually like use it online to in matches against each other has been a bit of a problem in ranked matches.
Oh
so,
no, I can absolutely see why it would be.
Yeah. So presumably they'll like put some sort of patch in place to fix that, but
For now, you
for
can
now
live the
it's
life
very
of an
funny.
apple.
Yeah, you can be like, I'm an apple. Doopa doopa doop. Yeah. Doopa doop doop doop. Do you hate your name on your PlayStation, your PSN ID? Did you like come up
yeah,
with? Do you come up with
yeah.
it like a long time ago, and it's Smokahontas 420 or something that you don't want anymore, or
Well, no, if I had something like Smokahontas, I might keep that one. That sounds cool.
yeah.
But, I clearly wrote 69 times, and it's a pain to type in each time.
Pain to type in, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that Sony is rolling out their beta for allowing people to change their PSN IDs, which I didn't know that you weren't able to do. Like, Microsoft has had that for years, that you can change your Microsoft ID. Now, you get one change for free,
Yeah.
and then you have to
gotta
pay for other
each
ones.
one. I think you can change back for free, though.
Yeah. So...
Because that's part of the bad news, isn't it?
There's a small issue.
Small.
In that, as part of they sent out this thing where, that they've sent a warning, that first, not all games and applications for the PS4, PS3, PS Vita, and other PlayStation systems support the idea that you can change your name, which seems odd. That like you would change your name, but like some games wouldn't support the fact that your name is changed. But more importantly, you can lose access to content, including paid-for content that you have acquired for your games. You can lose your progress within games, including access to save data, leaderboard data, and progress towards trophies. Parts of your games and applications may not function properly, both online and offline, and your previous online ID may remain visible to you and or players in some places.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that last one, actually.
Seems... So, not only could you possibly lose some, for whatever reason, like, when I hear this, I'm immediately thinking, like, back to, like, my programming days, and, like, the database that they have of, like, all your PSN info. Mm-hmm. And it's like, are they using your PlayStation ID, like, name as the key in that database? That sounds insane. Like, there's no way they would be doing that. But maybe? I don't know. Like, that's... I don't know why else... Like, I don't know why else you would actually lose all your information just by changing your name.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that. The fact that your previous online ID remains visible in certain, like, in some places in some games suggests that is not... It's not like, oh, I changed my username and then that username goes away, and then if somebody else wants it for some reason, they can get it. Mm. That is what that sounds like. It sounds like you maintain that, but now you have an additional name basically stickered into your profile. And because older games are accessing probably the first one, they're not going to look at the second one. Yeah.
So it's, as people in the chat say, it sounds like what they did is they decided to use this user-generated ID name. Somehow they decided to use that as the key for the database, which is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But now they have to figure out how to make it so you can change your ID. And so, they're just like sort of making a thing where it'll like
they're making an
alias
it. Or
it's like an alias thing. But
that's not like
is highly.
It's for one thing.
It's just like
if you have no issues with your previous name, then it's just kind of annoying and maybe a little confusing. Mm-hmm. But if you chose a name that you're really not proud of for some reason, or maybe it has something to do with a dead name, or anything like that, you don't want that popping up in your window.
Yeah, like you've risked, you risk losing all of your progress, a whole bunch of stuff associated with your account. You're like, okay, I'm willing to take that risk because I really don't want this ID anymore.
Yeah, I really don't want it.
And then you do all that, you successfully change your ID, and it's still not actually changed.
Yeah.
It still will just randomly show up.
If you're willing to take the risk of like losing all of your save data and stuff, you're probably just better off making a brand new PSN account.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, the reason we were talking about you can go back, so once per 6 months or whatever, you can go back to your previous username, but there's no guarantee that going back to your previous username will give you the stuff that you lost when you went to the new username.
What?
Because
I thought my understanding was the way they said to fix some. If you had a problem with like the name or whatever, fixing it, the best thing you could do was to go back to your old username. Oh, that's even more garbage. This is garbage.
Yeah, the notice also informs players that of what will happen should they choose to switch back to their original ID, which can be done once during the preview program. Apparently, switching back to your previous ID will not necessarily give you access to any old content you lost in the first change, and changing back may also lose additional content.
So,
It just seems like they took something that's supposed to be relatively straightforward, and it's
not.
like they've had like 50 engineers working on it for like 3 weeks.
This
or
is not
months.
a feature you should be like. I agree. Name changing should be a thing that should just be a thing you can do, especially at this point. Come on, Sony. But if your idea of changing names means this, don't bother.
Mm.
Just tell people you can't because you've screwed up somehow in your database. But don't bother. No.
I feel like Sony is still trying to recover from Y2K. Like, I don't know. Anyway. So, I would recommend, if you can at all help it. This is still in beta, so I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out.
I hope so.
Or in preview.
I wouldn't
or
participate in beta. This is not a bunch of risks I'd be willing to take. My PSN name doesn't trouble me, though. I have no intention of actually changing it.
Yeah. But if you can not change your name, that's probably for the best. And I think, because I talked about the PC gaming stuff in Red Dead already, so I think
that's
all the news that I marked anyway. Oh yeah, there's this whole thing. I didn't mark this as a thing, but there was a bunch of news went around about the that there was a Wiimote prototype for GameCube that went on sale.
Yeah.
And for like, I think it ended up selling for like $600 or something, which to me seems low for something this cool. But apparently, yeah, like it's like a Wiimote and a nunchuck and a wired connection to your GameCube. That was apparently a thing, which is pretty darn cool. That they were working on it way back. Like, who knows whether it was actually intended to come out for the GameCube, or whether they just made a GameCube version so they could see how it worked.
It could have been a thing that they were kind of working on. This is the thing with R&D, right? You probably work on stuff for both kind of like a new thing, but maybe an old thing as well.
Or you need
to do it, or you're just testing.
Yeah, you need to just like how would this control system even work?
Yeah.
If we did make a console with it.
There's all kinds of things they probably do in R&D that is for maybe a current console that they're just like, well, we can't really put that out, but it's a good idea, so we should look at that for the next thing. And
of course, as the joke goes, the Wii was essentially two GameCubes strapped together anyway.
Yeah, that's
so
what I've often heard.
In terms of capabilities, it was about the same. Yeah, that the GameCube was two N64s strapped together, and the Wii was two GameCubes, and the Wii U was two Wiis strapped together. They basically just added more of the same. It wasn't until the Switch that they actually like changed to a whole new thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they do that. They tend to build upon stuff, and it's very noticeable because it's done in hardware.
Mm.
This one. Sham the Wow, 12 months in a row. What, it's been a year? Jeez.
Such is how time moves. 1 second per second.
If you want, you could try going back in time and resubbing. I don't know how that works.
I feel like
but you could.
Yeah, I feel like that would mess up your sub streak on Twitch. I feel like Twitch is probably not set up to deal with time traveling sub notifications.
Probably not. I've been watching a lot of Flash recently, and time travel just seems like a bad idea all around, so just don't do it.
Mm-hmm. That's if there's anything
like that whole
if there's anything that
don't time travel.
If there's anything that you learned from watching shows, watching the Flash, yeah, time travel, don't do it. Not even once.
No.
Because even if you've done it once, you've probably actually done it like a bunch more times.
Apparently, and even when you make the other one go away, the other thing still happens somehow, and if you go back and try to fix it, it doesn't fix properly, and everything's just a mess. So just don't. Just don't.
Yeah.
Time travel, not even once.
Not even once. Because of causality, maybe you've already done it once. I don't know.
I mean, the time wraiths are scary enough that I think that's just a reason not to.
Time wraiths? Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets chased by time wraiths in an episode, and they essentially look like some kind of half floaty skeleton that comes after you, that wants to doesn't like the fact that you messed with time, and it's gonna stop you. They look scary.
I like the idea they're it's not that they're like the defenders of time. It's just that they like it's like, no, don't do time travel. It's gonna mess with the continuity of your TV show. We must stop him.
I mean, the things they've shown and any explanation they've given on it in the show has been like, the Speed Force doesn't like it when speedsters mess with the time travel things, but the time wraiths, they don't like it when people mess with time, and they just kind of come for you. They don't say that they're like the time police or anything like that. They're kind of like a dementor, and it's going to get you, and it's going to hurt you because you did a thing it didn't like a lot. Well, in Barry's case, a lot. He does it a lot. He doesn't really learn very well in that aspect.
Oh my god! Time traveling has caused all its problems. I need to go back in time and stop myself from time traveling. It's like, no! You're not learning! That's something that I appreciate about Doctor Who, is that the premise is a guy's got a time machine,
mm-hmm.
and yet I'm sure it's actually probably like in their like show Bible or whatever, that they almost never actually do the thing where they like try to fix something by going back in time and like doing a thing again. They do it occasionally, but considering that's the premise of the whole show, is that it's a guy with a time machine, they actually don't do what you would call like time travel tropes very often. Mostly it's the time machine is just used to go between scenes. Anyway.
Smokeahot is 420. Just subscribe. Thanks to Manfred909. Thank you, Manfred909, for that gift sub.
All right. More stuff. Right. Pets win prizes. Sorry, I got confused. That's what I was saying. Pets win prizes for 5 months in a row. That is some sort of, I'm sure you get some sort of 5-month prize for that.
SETI90 is continuing the gift sub they got from Leannon. Thank you.
And Ferry, for 20 months in a row. Thank you for all your content, hard work, and incredible amount of time. Heartler.
Aw.
Heart you back.
Milambus for 22 months in a row. Hey, welcome back. Thank you for that sub, friend.
A lot of fun time traveling sketches in their history. I'm pretty sure I wrote most of those.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I found time travel stuff funny. Especially when it's like used for stupid purposes.
I mean, that's the only way it can really be funny.
My favorite thing is because we write like 5-minute or like 3-minute sketches, right? So you sort of have to. It's short enough that you can like have it sort of self-contained within the. I always like the somebody traveling 5 minutes back in time.
Have you considered doing an Endless 8 sketch?
Endless 8?
Right. Sorry, anime. Wrong person.
Sorry, I don't play Pokemon.
It's Haruhi, but that's okay.
Anyway, that's the show, the ChillPoint, and thanks for watching. Coming up, very special thing happening at 6 o'clock. What?
Didn't work. It didn't work.
Ha! There we go.
Oh.
We're on the intro still.
Okay.
Dice Friends! Coming on at 6 o'clock. It's a special Dice Friends. We thought we were done before Desert Bus, before the incident, the event, the thing. The incident that hasn't happened yet. We thought we were done, but our good friend Rodney is running a Kickstarter for a new our RPG. This is the same guy who did the Dusk City Outlaws RPG, which is a lot of fun. We've played on stream a couple times, And so his new game is called Spectaculars. It's about superheroes. And so we're doing a special one-shot Dice Friends for that. So coming on tonight.
Yeah. 6 p.m. on this channel. And then tomorrow we are back to normal, well, relatively normal stuff. The regular stuff. So
9 o'clock.
Minecraft with James.
And then
Red Dead Redemption New Day Tuesday with Adam.
Yep.
Minecraft with James, but with like shooty guns called PUBG instead.
Minecraft but shooty guns. And then Talking Simulator, Cam and Corey are going to be looking at idle games.
Yeah.
Which
and not like idle girl games, but clicker games.
Not idle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a.
I feel like I would have to be on Talking Sim for the idle girl game.
I'm assuming there are idle games.
You know, I've never looked, but now I want to. I'm gonna have to look that up after we're done.
And then on Wednesday, so we got LRMTG. We got Let's Nope. And then on Wednesday night, we have which you may remember is Halloween. We've got Nightmare.
You may remember that October 31st is Halloween.
You may remember. We have got Nightmare on AFK. You love it. We sort of like it.
We think it's entertaining enough to play it.
We like that you like it. Nightmare, and I believe we're going to try to play the new-ish one that is like... It's like Nightmare, the first Nightmare, except it's got a new recording of the dude on like a DVD.
DVD instead of VHS?
Yeah. And I think it could do like random DVD. I think it does like random DVD stuff. Like as in it's different every time you play.
Like the disc accidentally pops out?
I mean, it could do that too.
Oh, okay.
But like it's different every time you play.
Oh, so you're saying is if it's different every time they play, they have to play the game like at least twice.
To see how it's going to be different.
Yeah.
That seems totally...
I don't feel like they want to.
As somebody who isn't...
Now they have to.
As somebody who isn't playing, I think that is a great idea.
As someone who is also not playing, I also think that is a great idea.
Nightmare and Atmosphere are the same game. Yeah, they change. It changes depending on what's going on. And then, of course, we got Games of Chance and all that other stuff.
You guys are done the spoopy game?
Yes. In fact,
you're on to what?
I actually, this week's Game of Chance topic is games that are not Desert Bus.
That's a broad topic, Paul.
Well, games that are like as far away from Desert Bus as possible. We left that open to interpretation.
Okay, I think that's just Subnautica.
A lot of people put that in. That was an option. A very populated airplane.
Very populated airplane. Oh no, don't make them play Air Control.
So, anyway,
James has already played Air Control because I believe they did that on the last Watch and Play.
Yeah.
Play at, and,
it made him angry.
I mean, yeah, that's what that game does.
This is just like nothing happening in the game. It's just like doop-a-doop-a-doo. Oh, your plane flipped over. All right. More Magic Tinker Tailor, where Ian and Graham he's gonna replace his battery, and he's working on his leather bag.
Yeah, Ian's very excited about that leather bag.
So we got all sorts of fun stuff happening coming up. And this is obviously next week. Things are going to start getting a little bit spotty.
Yeah, there's
still going
to be streams next week.
Still will be streams, but there may be
some of them might be different due to the event.
Due to certain upcoming events.
There's multiples now. I think there's only one.
There could be.
I don't know.
Yes, the Event Horizon.
Ooh.
So anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you later. Come back for Dice Friends at 6 o'clock local time.
Bye.